If you're someone that has trouble hitting their wax pocket or somebody that slips a lot while classic skiing, this is a really nice progression to try, especially this time of year as you're getting used to classic skiing on snow. The first step of this progression is to do a kick double pull without poles, and this was just yesterday here in Bozeman. And so I've given these athletes zero instruction. All I'm telling them to do is to kick double pull without poles across this flat. And it's kind of fun to watch them try to figure out what they need to do in order to effectively kick double pull across this terrain. It's not easy to kick double pull without poles. So I like to offer zero instruction first and then show them. Here I'm trying to demonstrate what I'm doing, which is scooting my foot forward ever so slightly before I hit each kick. And this little toe scoot is really important because it allows you to set the wax pocket directly underneath your center of mass. You can also see how this little forward scoot of the toe also allows me to straighten my legs ever so slightly, allowing for greater glide. Also notice the relaxed arm swing. If athletes focus on relaxing their shoulders, they're going to have a much better time setting their wax pocket. You can see this athlete is a little bit too tense in the shoulders, and that's taking away from the amount of downward force that will go into the wax pocket. You don't want a force going upwards when you want the power going downward into the wax pocket. The next step of this progression is to continue skiing without poles, but add in some no pole striding as well. So here I'm having the athletes do 5 kick double pulls without poles, and then transition into 5 strides. And again, we're using flat terrain here. I'm a big believer in learning to stride on flat terrain before you take it to the hills. Striding on flat terrain is really the best way to ingrain the feeling of kicking right underneath your center of mass before you start climbing hills. It's a great way to practice a relaxed arm swing. And in this case, these athletes are working on taking that little toe scoot or that preset of the kick that they've learned during the no pole kick double pull, and then kind of transferring that into their striding technique. And you can see these athletes doing a good job being a little more active in the lower leg, where you see that knee drop and straighten as they set the kick. Finally, we're going to add poles and take this to the uphill. And here the athlete should really focus on maintaining that relaxed arm swing, continuing to stay active in that forward toe scoot where they can preset their kick. And also notice this hill, I have a climb that then extends onto flat terrain, and I'm intentionally having the athletes continue to stride up and over the hill into the flat terrain. And I think that's an important part of this drill. Maybe on this terrain, an athlete might typically switch over to a double pull, but in order to kind of ingrain and work on that snappy kick, that preload of the kick, and getting your center of mass down onto your wax pocket, I'm having them continue to stride up and over the hill.